Okay, this video is going to talk about how to start your chart on the day. Okay, um, and it's so easy, it's not even funny. I do this every day, and it's my first two trend lines I draw on a stock that I might trade today. Okay, we'll look at Google for right now because Google was a stock yesterday. In the morning, I said it was in play because it was getting close to breaking out of a price channel. If you look at a daily chart from yesterday's action, it was starting to gap up and it looked like it might be breaking out of this channel. So I said, okay, Google might be in play today. Let's pull up a 15-minute chart of yesterday's action. We're going to use E-Trade's new tool called the guideline, which is awesome. It's pretty much just a trend line. You just can click. Okay. Honest to God, I draw this line, these two lines on every stock, and it really helps. Okay. First 15 minutes of the day passes. I draw the open and I draw the close of the 15-minute candle. Okay? These two lines are important to me all day. Let's look and see how this would have played out. Okay? Oh, and keep in mind, I like waiting for the candles to close. I don't I don't really use the highs and low as much. I know some people may, and that's fine, but I don't. It's just not my style. I like to wait and let candles close. It's just easier for me, I think. Um, but anyway, so yesterday Google gapped up, gave up all the gains, caught a bounce at support, went up again, could not close above where it opened, which tells me double top. Okay, top here, another top here, double top. This would make me short biased against Google, and it would have worked perfectly. Because of these two trend lines, if it could not break above them, it's likely going to make up another pullback, and it did. Okay, let's look at Apple. We'll just go through a bunch of stocks, and we'll see how well. Just using the first 15 minutes, no other trend lines. Just the open and closes of the 15-minute candle. Let's see how well it would have worked yesterday. Okay, so we got our open, we got our close. The next 15 minutes, it closed beneath, so this would have been a short signal. Could have shorted, went down to 16.1975. That would have been a pretty decent short. It's a probably 10 to 15% profit on options right there. This candle closed above the open, or this clothesline here. This would have been a buy signal. Made a move from 620.80 and hit a high of 621.73. Again, that's another about 10% move on the option market. This candle would have probably been a losing trade because this is a short signal. The next candle gave you a buy signal, and the next candle gave you a short signal. So this probably would have been a complete wash. This is if you were trading each one, not even looking at the volume. Ignoring the volume. Just buying calls or buying puts based off the opening 15-minute candles. So these two would have canceled out each other. This one was a short signal. Made another $1.50 move, another 10% for options. These two would have been a wash. This one would have kept you in the trade probably until about here. Not much of a profitable trade there. And the rest of the day kind of pretty much traded flat. I guess here you could have played this little breakdown here too. Um, let's look at some of my favorite stocks to play. Let's look at Amazon. This is all hypothetical. I'm just trying to show you an example of how effective using the opening 15-minute candles can, make some pretty good trades for you. So, so here we go. First 15 minutes, we got the open here at 234. We got the close at 235.40. Next candle, we closed beneath it. This would have been a short signal. Went all the way down, closed beneath here. This would have been another short signal, so you could have added puts. Showed a reversal bar, but let's just ignore this. On this candle, it gave you a buy signal because it broke above this trend line and it closed above it, so this is a buy signal. Made him move up, back up to where the 15-minute candle, first 15-minute candle close was. Put in a double top. Sorry, put in a double top again. This would have been a short signal. And we made another move back down to where the first 15-minute candle open was. Let's look at Cisco. Okay. Got our open and close. You can see where this is. I'm not going to tell you where it is. You can see it. This candle gave you a short signal, made a move down. Reversal bar. This candle closed above it, above both lines. This is a very good buy signal. Okay, because this is a bullish engulfing candle. Okay. So this would have been a buy signal. Made a pretty sweet move up here. So, okay. I've given you a few different examples of how this would have worked out just yesterday. And I can keep going on and show you ticker after ticker after ticker, but I think you get the point. Now I'm going to talk about why. Why do we use the first 15 minutes of the day, the open and the close? And if you like looking at highs and lows, you could draw lines at the highs and lows, and those would work for you as well. Personally, I don't like looking at the highs and lows. I like looking at, for entries that is, I like looking at it for exits, but not entries. Okay. Here's the answer. Volume is why. If you look at all of the stocks we just looked at, what do all of them have in common? The first 15 minutes of the day has the most volume. And let's keep in mind, what is support and resistance? Support is where you are most likely to have the most amount of buyers, and resistance is where you are most likely to have the most amount of sellers. So if you've got the most volume posting in the first 15 minutes of the day, or in the first 30 minutes of the day, this will work on really 15-minute, 30-minute. You could even do a 60-minute. If you're more of a longer-term trader. Personally, I'm a short-term day trader, so I don't do that. I use the 15-minute, but still, the most volume is right away in the morning. That's when stocks put in support and resistance for that day, and you can use yesterday's open and close, and have them follow through into today. I'm not going to do examples right now, but you could use So this would be yesterday's candle, and this would be the previous day. You could use these candles as well to chart out and use as trend lines for today. Um, but just using the first 15 minutes of the day just showed you a couple examples of how that would have worked yesterday. And I guarantee you, if you go through and just grab a list of stocks and go through and put a line at the open and the close of the first 15-minute candle, I can guarantee you that over 70% of them, those two lines are really going to work for you. Okay. The only way they would not work is if it were to gap and run and never revisit these levels again. That's the only way it would not work. But other than that, I guarantee those would be very helpful in helping you make trades. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully it helps you. You can use this on earnings. So Priceline. Let's do this. Priceline was the big gap down the other day. And when a stock gaps down over 10%, it's not going to fill the gap. Okay? So don't be buying calls thinking it's going to fill that gap. It ain't happening. Not that day. I'm telling you. So Priceline, this would have worked out really well in two different times. First 15 minutes gave you the open and gave you the close. Here, it gave you a short signal, double top, right? Short signal. If you ignored it and you wanted to wait for it to, break out or break down, this one would have been the breakdown, and this would have worked out tremendously. Look at this move. It closed here at 573, and it made a move down all day long, and it closed here at 562. That's an $11 move right there. And with options, dang, that's a big trade right there. And that's just using the first 15 minutes of the day. What's another one? I think Cisco. I can't remember if we already did Cisco, so I'm going to skip it. I was doing another video earlier before I did this, and I was talking about Cisco. Sorry if I am ignoring it. Shoot, what's another one? Let's see, did Netflix gap? There we go, Netflix kind of gapped. Huh. Okay, so this was one example where it probably wouldn't have worked. Get the open, get the close, gave you short signal. This would have went against you. Here, gave you a buy signal, but it made way too big of a move. I honestly probably would not have got in on this one because that's too big of a move for me to be buying up here, But still, down here would have gave you another short signal. This would have worked against you. Here's a good buy signal though, and this one would have worked. So 3 losing trades versus 1, winning trade. Netflix probably wouldn't have worked out nicely for us, but the rest of them did. So I guess I've proven that it's not a flawless strategy, but more times than not, it works out. Okay, I am gonna go. If you have not visited my website, thestockgarage.com, I strongly urge you to. Each night I post a watch list that includes penny stocks, swing trades, options, setups, and I also will email out intraday alerts that I like. And every weekend I send out a big long list of stocks that I'm watching for this week. So please visit me, thestockgarage.com. And you can follow me on Twitter, and I'll post all the links and handles in the description. All right, goodbye, and good luck.